Okay folks, today we're going to take a look at this nice little spiral vegetable slicer. This thing is very versatile, easy to use. You can do all kinds of neat stuff with it. Super convenient, easy to clean. Comes apart so you can just rinse off the blades, and that's pretty much usually all you need to clean. Sometimes you need to rinse this guy off too, but you can just hose it off under the sink, no problem. It stows away in a very compact manner. The blades just go in here, snaps in, and then the two that you're not actively using, you can just store down here. And once they're in there, they snap into place, so they're not going to fall out. You don't have to worry about slicing up your poor little piggies by accident. But one thing to watch out for is this piece can slide out, so you don't want it to, fall and break or something. But it's pretty sturdy. It probably wouldn't break anyway, but still, watch out for that. And then so this guy snaps in, but you can just pull him and he'll pop out when you're ready to change blades. But these guys, in order to get them out, you lift up on this little tab and then they just pop loose. So they kind of like actually lock in. Pretty neat. Okay, so another thing about this is you don't want it sliding around while you're trying to use it. So it's got these little suction cups for feet. And all you do there is you just push down each one, and then it's very secure once you do that. This thing's not going anywhere. I could probably lift up this whole table with this thing. But at the same time, it's easy to remove when you're ready to remove it. All you do is just slip a fingernail under here and just lift up a little bit, and it releases the suction. And then once you do that, no problem. Okay, so let's take this thing for a spin, see what it can do. Alright. Let's start out with this blade. This one makes thin spirals. You put the vegetable in here, and then as you turn the crank, it spins the vegetable and it slices it here into strips here, and then goes through this blade, and well, you'll see. All right, let's maybe start out with zucchini. Okay, so all you do is you just stab the end of the vegetable on here and stab the other end on this little circle here. And you fold out this little handle, and then you just press forward with this handle with one hand while you're turning this crank with the other hand. You don't want to push on this crank because you kind of have leverage on it, and it is going to try to bend it. But this handle is very convenient. And then you just set up something over here to catch what comes out of the other end. See if I can turn this thing a little bit so you can see, have a better view of what's coming out. Alright, how about that? Alright, here we go. You don't have to push very hard. The blade kind of does most of the work for you. And as you can see, it comes out in nice big long spirals. Real easy. And this would be good for, you could just eat this raw. You could cook it, put some pasta sauce on it, and eat it like spaghetti. You could stir fry it. There's all kinds of options. And it comes in big long strips, as you see, which, if you don't want that, you can just pull it apart into smaller pieces. Or there's another option you can do. If you just take your vegetable, and so yeah, it makes a core in the end, which, you can use that as well. There's no reason to throw something like that out. But if you want shorter slices, you could just slice the vegetable about halfway through ahead of time. Just one slice straight like that. And then, as you slice it, it will come out in individual, smaller, half circle size pieces. How about a potato? So that works quite well. Let's try another blade though. This might be a little bit too thin for something like curly fries, if you want to make curly fries. Pop this guy out of the way. And we'll try the one that makes thicker slices now. Very easy to turn. You don't really have to fight with it at all. The blade's sharp, does the work for you. So as you can see, these would be good for curly fries. Sometimes it can be a good idea to slice the end flat before you start so that this guy can grab onto it a little better. And then when you get all the way to the end, this thing hits a stop, so you won't slice up these little plastic fingers that come up here. You don't have to worry about that. And you just pull it out, and you have this little core left over. It's like a little mushroom. Okay, let's try something else. If we switch back to our fine cut slicer, take a small pickling cucumber, slice them through about halfway. You don't want to slice too deep though. And this would be good for pickling and maybe making relish. Okay, let's go back to our thicker slicer. You can make sweet potato fries in no time flat. These are good if you fry them or if you just put them on a cookie sheet and bake them in the oven. You can sprinkle some salt on them, or if you want something a little bit different than your usual sweet potato fry, you could do, you know, maybe some cinnamon sugar or something and come up with something a little more like a dessert. Again, we're left with our little mushroom. You can get creative with what you can do with these. And nicely cut. Okay, we still haven't looked at our third blade. This one doesn't cut things into narrow ribbons, it just makes more wide, flat slices. Let's try it out. This one is good for something like an apple. I go ahead and core them ahead of time because sometimes it's hard to line it up just right so that you miss the core, and you can end up slicing up your seeds. Alright, here we go. This blade can also be used to make potato chips. Just cut the potatoes down the side first so you get individual chips rather than long squiggles like these. So this is good for, something like a fruit salad, or you could use it as sort of a fancy looking garnish on top of an apple pie. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with this. We'll switch back to our finest blade. And we'll try onion. Everyone hates cutting onions, but this thing is great for minced onions. Check this out. Done. Alright, just sliced up that whole onion, but if your recipe calls for minced onions, you probably don't want these big long strips like this. But there's a neat trick that you can do with these. If you take these onions and stick them in a Ziploc bag and throw them in the freezer for a couple hours, then when they come out frozen, you just smush up the bag like this, and they break apart into small little pieces, and you have a bag of minced onions without all the tears. Really a neat trick. Alright, so thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about this guy, I'll put a link down at the bottom of the video where you can read more about it, check out people's reviews, what other people have to say about it. And that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.